Well, it's that Friday feeling again. Good evening to you. Let's say hello to a few people. We got Robert, Richard, Laurie, Stefan, Steve, Barry, Don, Lynn, Stuart, all in the room. So hello to all of you and welcome to the Friday feeling. Tonight we're going to talk about AI and does Google really care if you're using AI? We'll get going very shortly. Well, hello. Hope you're all good and keeping well. Don't know why my views changed on here. Let's spotlight. You're spotlighted, Robert. I don't know what's going on with my view tonight. Let's try and change that to. That's better. I can see you now on my screen.
Why don't you change your view around?
It was a view of everybody for some reason.
Hey, because she didn't show up, she was out drinking without us. Happy birthday, belated, Lori.
Thank you.
Is it?
Have
What's
you
it?
reached?
What's it
She's
like being
20
21 again? Is it
Yeah,
good?
Yes.
I was going to say 29.
They say never ask a lady her age. So what's your shoe size?
9.5.
Oh, there we go. You see. Brilliant. But many happy returns. I hope you had a wonderful birthday.
I did. Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Good to see you as always.
Yes.
There we go. Have you had a good week, Robert?
Busy, painful, but good.
I know you're almost at the stage where you want a handyman website up for yourself for all the work you've been doing in your house at the moment.
Well, it's like a means to an end. Because there was so many projects and we had so many problems with permits because of the window company. That's what it boiled down to. So the learning lesson for me on that, and for anybody really, should be, if you're going to bring any kind of contractor, and I heard from other people too, the horror stories about people that say they're going to pull permits for you and then they don't pull them and they do the work anyways.
Yeah.
And you're left with these upgrades on your home that weren't permitted. You'll have to explain that later, but you're the homeowner and you don't know that happened. That wasn't my case. My case was just I did the permits wrong with the city and the city wouldn't do anything. But so you have to follow up with the people that are telling you they're doing something. You have to follow what they're doing, because you can get in a heap load of trouble. And in today's technology of computers and everything else, all of the cities are computerized. They know everything that happened on your home.
Yeah.
So you change a roof, or you change a pool, or you change an air conditioner, they are supposed to be permitted. And as the homeowner, later on when you go to sell, if you don't have these things permitted, you're going to be having the one to answer. The companies are going to be long gone out of the way. They don't matter.
You think you've got problems. In the UK, we have planning permission, and some things you need planning permission for, some you don't. It's a bizarre system in the UK. I think if you've got enough cash to send some cash someone somewhere, I think it gets permitted anyway. But on a true story, I once lived in a grade 2 listed building in a flat. And I kept getting these phone calls from a conservatory company. It's like a building on the back of your house made of glass. And so I had enough of them. So I invited them round. But I told them they had to come through the back gate because the front door didn't work. So this bloke turns up, walks through the gate, sees these staircases going up, me at the bottom saying, so how on earth are you going to install this conservatory? You're going to be on stilts? He turned around and walked off. I never had a phone call again. So it goes to show, if you got a salesperson being a pain in the ass, invite them round.
Yeah.
But
anyways, the good news is the permits were all finalized and they're done, but still work to be done. Anyways,
see, and the reason I was asking you was I talk about this a lot. Life gets in the way, and sometimes things happen. I know Robert's been spending months and months on getting his house sorted and his windows, and in the USA, you've got to be tornado proof and wind proof and all sorts of proof with your windows, and that can become a major problem. But spending lots of time on managing people who should be doing their job right in the first place. And it's the same in any business, that you have to. I got my whiteboard, and like the last 2 weeks, the kids have been on holiday, and the kids want dad. The kids want me to go and spend time with them. So you have to balance your work life up with your home life. So I prioritized the most urgent things. Support was number one, trying to make sure I kept on top of support tickets for people. Then number two was then working through some additional training, which I've got to upload this week. And I'm pleased to say the kids go back on Monday. So it means I can get back to my normal working hours, which is, it's nice in a way. It's nice to have the kids off and nice to spend time with them. But when you got 3 kids at home and they all want your time, it can take a lot of time in the day. So I end up.
It's not, you're absolutely right. I mean, all of us have the same issues. We all have the same amount of time in a day.
Yeah.
But we all have the same workload, if you will, that we have to get done to succeed.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the way it was for me was the fact that these different people coming in and out causing me stress. It takes your mind off of where you want to be.
Yeah.
Because you can't refocus every time. They say they're going to show up at 3:00 and they don't show up until 4:30. Or all these different things that are happening that you're out of control with. You can't control when they're going to show up, even though they're supposed to be there. You can call and you can follow up and you can do all these things, but it's a nightmare for the homeowner. It's a nightmare for the people that are hiring the contractors that don't show. So the service of getting the right contractors as your lead gen is very important. But no, this is the importance of understanding. We Stephen and I understand life gets in the way, and life is going to pull you in and out of these cycles of what being really excited to being really down low, and then there's that, obviously, the loneliness of online marketing. You have to pick yourself up. And you have to plug back in and you have to keep going. And, the Friday calls are a great thing for me because they do that. Just that little jingle in the beginning is like a motivation. It's just a relaxing thing that says it's Friday and I got to keep going. So,
and that's the thing, good solid businesses weren't built in a week. We give you the tools to build your business in a week if you want to. But to build it properly, I always say you got to build your foundations first. There are a lot of scare tactics going on at the moment online of people saying AI is a big problem for Google, right? Now, my friend who knows someone at Google has said that's not true. And the reason behind it is Google are building their own AI systems. They want to compete with ChatGPT. So the question is if they're going to compete, why on earth would they penalize AI content in the first place if they're going to compete with it? It would be absolute financial suicide for them. And a lot of companies are embracing it. You guys have probably got tons of emails out there all the time going, oh, the next ChatGPT thing is this, and the next ChatGPT. You don't need any of that. Full stop. You don't need to buy the next shiny object for ChatGPT. What you need to do is get ChatGPT and just use the bloody thing. Learn the prompts. We got Don in the group who shared, and I've forgotten the name of it. Don, you can unmute and remind me. Is it AI PR, whatever it's called? Remind me.
AIPRM.
AIPRM, and I've installed that on mine. And it's lots of different prompts you can use, which are fantastic to use, and it's a free plugin for Chrome. You can upgrade if you want to get more features. I haven't, because I don't need to upgrade, but I can click on a prompt and it helps me with what I want to do, and it is just a case of using these tools. I upgraded to ChatGPT for two reasons. One, I love the product, and for $20 a month, I decided to pay that money, and go and support the product. Plus, eventually, the price will go up. So I reckon they're going to put the price up. I reckon one day it'll be like $60 a month or something. So, getting in early, $20 a month for the pro version's nothing, but you can still use the free version. That's the cool thing about it. You can go in and use the free version. Little tip for you: if you ever go to use a free version, it says ChatGPT is busy, hit the refresh button a few times and it will come up eventually. And you'll be the person jumping in and using it. So you can get around their little problems of getting on. But for $20 and the content you can create, so you take a DFY magic theme, you upload one of those to your system, and you go, right, I've got content already on here, but I don't know how to rewrite it. Well, grab some content, chuck it into ChatGPT, ask it to rewrite it for you. It's nice and easy, And Don's saying for $20 it's great, or go for the Open API site and get access there as well. Yeah, because I know that there's the main site, OpenAI. But also you can go to AIPRM.com and get the free plugin to install and have lots of prompts. The thing is I'm a great believer the search engines will not penalize you. And if you're really that worried about it, Robert came up with a great solution, didn't you, Robert?
Yeah, you go to the AI checkers, read what it's saying, and then rewrite it according to what you want to do. There's so many ways around this, but what I want to get back to is, this goes way back, right? But when you had to set out for a college course and you had to write something, a report or a book or whatever, and that's another whole subject too, because students are using ChatGPT to try to write their papers, and they're getting flagged because they're already duplicated, and it's another whole issue there. But the thing is, if you don't have ideas, if you don't have thoughts to put together to get started, you have that blank page syndrome. It's the same thing with a website. If you don't know what to say or know how to write a blog post, and you need ideas, go to what's being written. Go to what is being talked about, and take those same concepts and then take that and run with it. It doesn't have to be exactly what ChatGPT would spit out or any AI writer, but it'll give you the ideas of what you need to go after. And we've always said it, go for the low-hanging fruit. And remember, your sites are location-based. And we keep talking about that because certain niches, there isn't a lot of content. Like if you're selling red widgets, and there's not a lot of content about red widgets, then you can only say so much about red widgets. And when it comes down to it, when you write these website pages and you write content, it's the location with the red widgets that makes that rank for that site. And I'm 100% convinced, and have been for many years, the more technology advances, the more that Google knows exactly where you are by the devices that you use in the locality. They're zeroing in on you, the searcher, looking for something to give you the closest response, the closest serviceman, the closest pizza delivery guy, the closest whatever you're looking for. They're not going to send you out of state or out of the country or out, across the world for an answer on something that you're looking for in a locality. It's always going to be location based. And that is the biggest part of what we do, is everything is location based. So when you make a website for a painter, and Stephen makes a website for a painter, and I make a website for a painter in Wellington, they're different sites just for the location alone. And Google is going to recognize that every time and give the searcher the closest website.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Lynn, in our inner circle group only, paste that link for me when you get a spare moment, please. All right. She shared a great ChatGPT alternative, which is free, and that's going to be for inner circle members only. So that's the advantage of being part of the inner circle, that you get these golden nuggets that come in. I know I'm going to whip up to some of the chat on here. Stefan said there's a great tool for writing content based on OpenAI. It's called Zim Writer. I've heard of that myself. I haven't used it myself. Laurie says a great way to learn how to write a prompt is to choose one in OpenAI and look how it's written and then customize it from there. That's a good tip there. Customize your prompts, enhance them too, says Don. Don, did you buy the $20 a month package from AIPRM? Did you, Don? Yes, he did. Thumbs up there. So, and even at that price, that for that top package, I haven't done it myself, and I'm sat on the fence still because I don't know if I'm going to use it. But if you're going to use it in your business, then go and get it. That's what I always say. If you're not, if you've got something in your business you're paying monthly for, and you haven't used it for 6 months, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Can't cancel it. Don't carry on paying if it's not benefiting you. I had someone message me a little while ago, and they went, "Oh, I'm an inner circle member, but I'm going off in a different direction. I feel really bad. I want to cancel." I went, "Don't feel bad. That's business. That's what it's about. It's if you're using something in your own business, then be part of that thing you're doing. Be part of the group who can lift you up. And Steve says, what about wanting to cancel WP Horde? That's unhappy face. I've been playing around with WP Horde, funny enough, and all I will say is, oh, sorry, that was Bob, not Steve. Bob. I know different is jumping around. That's why the chat's whizzing through. So yeah, now Steve. So the thing is, Steve, is I've been working a way of automating building your blogs to then load into WP Horde, and it's quite an interesting thing. I was been chatting to Kurt about it as well. He showed me some tips, and so a little bit of training coming soon on that. I like WP Horde because purely on the point of view that you can have 100 blogs all connected up, and you go into the system on WP Horde, and you put a spun article in, spun title, and hit send, and it goes out to all those blogs automatically as a unique article per blog. That's what I like about it. That's one of the many features. So, but the thing is, it's once again, if you're not using it in your business, then I say don't cancel for now, because yes, it might cost a bit more money 6 months down the line. Brad says, I have a plugin that I got for free that I wish to share. It's called Print My Blog. I installed it on my agency site. It allows you or your visitors to print blogs. It's cool. Not sure how to so share it in the group chat in here, Brad. So make sure you select to everyone, and on top of that, go to the inner circle group only and post it there, because once again, you've got to be an inner circle member to get all these tips and tricks from our members. And so we'll share it in the inner circle group only. What a great, that sounds a really good idea. Print My Blog is called. And if you can find it for yourself, then good. If you can't find the link, you have to be an inner circle member. So I'll share in the inner. Yes, absolutely, Brad. Share in the inner circle. And if you want to send me the link in here as well, I'm happy to share it with everyone who's on the call right now. There was we get lots of golden nuggets here at the moment, and I've been experimenting, and I've, by the way, anybody who's got in on the boot camp that's coming up the last week, it'll be the last week of April. So I'll make the official announcement at the start of next week with what evening it's going to be on. It's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it most likely might be a Tuesday night. I've got to confirm. Basically, I've got to juggle family life around with what we do here, but we'll aim to do it at 5 p.m. And this is the video boot camp, Steve, that is was a replacement for a different product that someone kindly let us down on at the moment. So I offered it out to everyone, and so the video boot camp. I've basically, I'm going to share my screen. 8 hours ago, I put a video up, right? And let me share my screen. Oh, let me get the right screen up. 8 hours ago, I put this video up for Web Design Crew Kern under the videos tab, and I'm #1. I'm not going to tell you how I've done it because that's for the video boot camp, guys. So, and but that is super exciting, and on top of that, it's helped rank my GMB, which was only uploaded yesterday. I'm in an incognito window, private window. If you look at the top, and for Web Design Crew Kern, my GMB's #1. And that was only, and like I said, I only set that. I set the website up about a couple of days ago. It's the agency site I built, and then on top of that, we did this. And thanks to how I'm ranking the video, it's also helping push my GMB up. So, and I don't mind showing this stuff to people because there are too many people in this industry that will not share what they're doing. You know, when someone turns around, they go, I can't show you. I won't show you my sites. I won't show you this because people do stuff to them. Well, I'm not scared of people doing stuff to me because they've got to live in the local area to do stuff to me personally. So you know, and I think this is pretty cool. I haven't added a phone number yet. I'm doing that. I'm going to try and do it over the weekend. Add a phone number to it and other bits and pieces and set it all up accordingly. But I think it's awesome to go to videos.
Put in a one in the chat if you guys think that web design in a city name would be something somebody would search for if they're looking for a web developer or web designer. So you think that's a pretty good search term or not? If you put a one in the chat.
Lots of ones.
And again, it goes back to what we were just talking about: location and what you do. It's location and what we're selling or what we're offering or what the services are. And that's what Google's going to pick up on.
You know, I just done a search on my screen without using incognito, and I'm showing up. There's a sponsored one on Google, and then I'm showing up #1 again. So I'm beating everyone who are saying they're SEO experts and running their own agencies. So you know, it's exciting stuff to be doing. And if I get someone phone me up going, "Can you build me a website?" I'm going to say, yeah, for 15K, and then I'll pay a dev to do it. I'll say, "Hey, Dev, can you build me a whole website with the content for $1,000, please?" Quite a nice profit, isn't it? You know, because I don't want to be micromanaging companies. I want my own sites out there. I want to be renting my own sites out there and I've already got, you know, clients on board that I already micromanage when it comes to their websites. I fired one actually the other day because they were just becoming a nightmare. And I just turned around and said, "Look, you're asking too much for too little money. I think you better go and find somebody else." You know, and I said, "You can keep paying for your hosting if you want, but you have to get someone else to do your site now." Because I said, unless you're willing to pay, I'm not interested. You know, and because I spent like 3.5 hours on one call with them about their website. you know, and they weren't paying me much for that. So it's like, no. So you have to say to yourselves, what's your time worth? Are you going to micromanage for individual businesses? That's why being brave, right? If I get a phone call from somebody and I quote 15K for it, and they go, yeah, all right then. Well, I'll spend $1,000 paying a dev to build the whole blooming thing for me and set it up. You know, there won't be any guarantees of SEO or rankings or anything for that price. It's just building the website for them. If they go, well, that's way too much, I've got someone who's cheaper, I'll go to them then. Let that person micromanage them. Because that's what it'll be when you quote a 3K price on a website. You know, you got to think, how much is your time worth? And that's why if you do take on a client, I advise people strongly, you price up the website design, and then you say, and by the way, after that, it's X amount per hour. So we'll do your basic design, we'll get content on there, and then after that, it's this much an hour. You know, and charge what's your minimum, $50 minimum, but it, you know, should be worth more than that for them to have a website built. But back to the main subject, like I was saying about Chat GPT and AI, I tested AI content on a blog site, and that's been doing quite well at the moment. And once I finish testing, I'll share the results with people. But the thing with it, that's AI content. Google's not telling me off for using it. You know,
the other way to look at this too is Google's going to come back around, and if you're putting AI content out on a website and it reads Chinese in English, they're not going to rank you. They're going to look at that site and they're going to not bring you up. But if you're putting in good content, quality content to give the searcher a good answer or good content about a subject, it's going to be fine. You know, like Don said, as long as it enhances user experience. And that's, again, so it doesn't matter who wrote it or how it got written. It's what it says, and does it answer the question that's being asked?
Yeah. You know, people worry about duplicate content. I don't. Why? I've mentioned this before, because think about all the newspaper sites, especially across the UK, and it must be the same in the USA. You go to one site and there's a bunch of articles, and it's called like the Western Gazette. Then you go to another one like the Northerners Gazette or whatever it may be, you know, and another one, the London Gazette, and all these different sites have got all the same news articles on, all the same headlines, all the same content. It's just the title at the top of the page. They're not being penalized by Google. You know, there are so many things that I think people are saying to scare you into maybe buying their products. And I think that's what it sometimes can come down to, sadly. Instead of being honest and going, look, this is Chat GPT. We've got a program that can do this with it, you know, and come and buy it if you want. It's that sort of thing. But you know, that's why, like you find with us, when we send out emails on stuff, it's, you know, or we talk about a product, it's because we know it's going to be reliable. We know it's going to work well for your business, and that's why we recommend it. Do we turn around and say only buy it if you're going to use it? Absolutely. We're not going to force your hand to come and buy something. We're not special salespeople that can sell ice to Eskimos, you know. But because we are sick and tired of people trying to sell stuff day in, day out, every single week. You go on a webinar or something, and it's like free training, great, and you get to the end of the free training, and it costs you, you know, $1,500, you know, and yes,
well, plus the fact that the free training never really trained you on anything.
Yeah.
It shows you a few things, and then it just went right to the sales pitch.
Yeah,
that's the standard.
You know, it's like, yeah, I've mentioned the boot camp before, and we put the link up for it. And if, you know, someone wants it, then message us. We gladly give you the link for it. I think it's like dfimagicthings.com/bootcamp 2023. I think it was the link for it. But at the end of the day, it's, I'm showing results in what I've done myself with what we're doing. But do you need to buy it? If you're not going to use it in your business, don't buy it. Plain and simple. But those that got in are going to be pleased because the content I've been busy pulling together for this, and some of the experts, friends who I've got in the industry who know shed loads more than I do, I bounce ideas off of them, and they come back, and then I make little notes, and then I go and try. I actually go and try it. They don't, and so all this stuff to do with building things up. I spent a few months on it. And I wanted to do a test this week with a new domain name. And when you go and look at Crewcon Web Design, the domain name was only registered in the last couple of days. And literally after I uploaded the domain name, I went and but first of all I put up maintenance plugin on it, and then I got the site built. I actually built the site this morning on it, because I thought I'd better, because I was ranking my GMB amazingly. And so it surprises me sometimes the things we try and do that work at the end of the day. So Steve says, I've got a domain name question for, oh, okay. I get that. No problem, Steve. You can ask me on the inner circle that question in a bit. In fact, because we've been nattering away, we should really say goodbye to the freebie people, Robert, don't you think?
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to add to it?
Well, all what we have been doing here for the last 2 years is trying to give value and give guidance to people that want to get started in something that they're insecure about.
Yeah.
And not get taken down the road of buying stuff that doesn't make sense to buy. And, one of our inner circle members, I won't mention her name exactly, but because we intervened and because we said, look at this first, I know what we did for her. She doesn't know what we did for her, but I know what we did for her. We probably saved her $1,200 to $1,500 in courses and products that she didn't need, that never helped us when we bought it.
Yeah.
We went down that road before. We've already been in that. And because we were able to do that meant a lot to us, because we showed a different way how to get something done and not waste a year's worth of time going through stuff that was never going to get you there. I would rather show somebody every day of the week how to put a website up in 30 minutes to an hour, and not have to explain to them for 6 months how that website was built until they just gave up because they couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I'd rather show them how to put that site up, show them how to go after the right clientele, because that's what matters. And then you start to learn the nuances of the back end. And, because Stephen and I spend the time to look at making tools that make things simpler, we have changed directions a few times. And we went from using third-party plugins to developing some of our own to make it simpler for the people using them to build the sites that they're going to rent to their clients in the local business areas. So, if this is your thing, pay attention. If this is not your thing and you want to sell blue widgets to other people, that's fine. Go after your passion every time. We're going to tell you that. Go after what you want to do in your business and what's your passion. Because if you're not enthralled by it, if you're not enthusiastic every day, you're going to lose your drive. You're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to spin your wheels. So plug in somebody that you know, like, and trust, and go after what you are passionate about. And don't worry about the money. The money will follow when you do what's right.
And Robert, I love what you're saying there, because Like we've had conversations with people. Like right now, right, we have a link. We have a link available for those who want to get in on the build, rent, rank training. Right, new people who want to come in, and that's dfimagicthemes.com/BRR. But before you do that, if you're someone who's umming and erring, reach out to myself or Robert. We'll jump on a call with you. We'll have a chat with you. We've had people who we've done calls with, and then we said this model's not for you, and we turn them away because we only want people involved with this that are taking action in their business. And all the faces I see here, people who take action in one way or another, whether you're taking a DFY magic theme and converting it to become your own site, or you're getting leads coming in for the first time, which we know there's people on this call now that have done that. It's exciting, when we get the wins from people, which is why we love the inner circle as well, because we get people saying, I've had a win this week, I've had a new client. And it's those little steps that give you those confidence, gives you that confidence as you go along. The little wins, the first time where you get that sale in your door, and you go, yes, it may only be $50 a month or $100 or $500 a month. But it's that small win to give you that confidence to lift you up.
You took the step to move forward.
Yeah.
Instead of just wallow in what's not going to happen. Because that's when you're wallowing and you're confused, all you're doing is spending money on things you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
And that's the I am true business model, is bring somebody in, email them to death, contact them to death until they bought everything that you own. And once they figure it out that it's not going to work, they move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And, and that's wrong. That is just wrong. A product should be sold, supported, and help, on full 100% transparency. We had this conversation, Stephen and I, a couple of days ago. We're supporting people on things that have nothing to do with what we do.
Mm.
And it's hard sometimes to say no, but at the same time, people are people that get stuck, and there's no fine line or line drawn in the sand that, hey, this is strictly all that we do. However, at some point, we're going to have to say that's outside of what we can support. That's a third-party product. That's a this or that's a that. And we won't be able to support all those other things. We try to give guidance, and we try to do the very best we can to help everyone keep going. Because when you're enthusiastic and you're moving forward, you're starting to get some traction. That's when you got to keep going. And when that first roadblock hits and you don't know what to do, or you messed something up and didn't know why it messed up, the simple things that obviously we say it a lot. You don't know what you don't know. A caching plugin can drive you absolutely bananas when you're trying to adjust a website and you're making changes and the changes aren't sticking because the caching plugin keeps giving the same page every time you refresh. That will drive somebody new to quit. That alone. And a support ticket can be that simple. That did you clear the cache? Did you go into the caching plugin and just delete all the cache? If they don't think that, they get stuck, they get frustrated, and it's easy to quit. We don't want people to quit. We want people to get going. So Stephen, where I'm coming with this is, even though we shouldn't, we do. We help support other things. And at some point in time, there's going to have to be a way that we bring other people, other developers or something that can help us with these other areas that we're not really supposed to be taking care of, or that aren't our niche, so to speak, or what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a rabbit, down another hole. And we want to stay focused in the BRR training and get you guys. That's our focus. That's our passion, to keep going for the local websites. Build them, rent them. I'm not even worried about rank.
No.
But if we can build them and rent them, then
What's
that's income.
What's really funny is you build them, you rent them out, right? And on average, the rankings will follow anyway.
Exactly.
You know, I had a customer of mine who I won't name who this person is, who messaged me. They get hosting from us, and they said one of my customers in this major city has dropped down in the rankings. Should I go and get tons of backlinks? And I said back, well, no, you shouldn't, because you'll end up damaging the site. You know, and I explained that there are better ways of doing things, but I didn't go into full detail because they're not inside the inner circle. If they're in the inner circle, they could learn these things without a problem. You know, but on that note, you know, I'm just going to read 2 more notes on here, and then we're going to say goodnight to the free groups. Steve says, some of my best clients have been the ones who have struggled a lot. They appreciate my skills. Absolutely. And there's tons of people out there that don't know how to build a website or set one up who'll be willing to pay that. In the same way, right, I wouldn't necessarily know how I used to be able to fix plumbing pipes. I haven't done it in years, so I probably struggle now. So I'll pay a plumber to do it, you know. And Laurie says, I stand 100% by Robert and Stephen and the products and training they provide. If anyone is on the fence, take the first step and join the DFY inner circle and see how helpful they are compared to any guru out there. Thank you for that, Laurie. That's very kind of you to say. And if you want to join the inner circle, go to dfymagicthemes.com/live4u, and it's below the video in Facebook and on YouTube. And you're quite welcome to come and join. Come and say hello to people in the group. We're all friends. We're all one big happy family. But on that note, good night, free group, and we will see you next week. We're in the inner circle only now.
Have a wonderful weekend.